Okay, we're here at the Aviodrome. Let's just do something there. That's better. Look at those planes over there. Absolutely lovely. So we're gonna go take a look at the DC-3 there. 747. Tell you a little story about that plane, at least. Not that specific one, but another one. Wow. Just been pushed back. This one's gonna fly, I guess. A Spitfire over there. Look at that one. Lovely. We're going to hear its engines roar so shortly. It's getting busy already. Pilots are there. Well, this is it. Absolutely lovely. Flipping fantastic, these old Dakotas. Really great. Absolutely terrific. It's very busy today. Well, that's pretty normal here. You get a little close up on the... I don't really have a zoom on this thing. It's beautiful. It's the only flying one, this one. Another Dakota. See Princess Amalia, Dakota. I know this one still flies. The Princess Amalia, I know that one still flies. I think this one too. But that one over there, that's from the memorial flight. Really participated in D-Day. Flipping lovely. An old Russian thing over there. We'll see that later. Marvelous. Maintenance hangar. There you have them. But hangar to fly. Engines. You see how the Dakota so yeah, we got some oldies here. Well, we haven't had anything yet because we still have to go inside the main building. And inside the main building, that's where you get it all. Okay, just a little story for those that are interested. Back in 1977, you had the worst aerial disaster ever. It was in Tenerife. There's a lot of speculation how it really started, who was responsible. Eventually they blamed the pilot Jacob van Santen because he was the pilot of the Dutch 747, and apparently he just heard let's go fly and all that, but it's a whole combination. The aerial disaster, the disaster of Tenerife, had a lot of factors: bad weather, terrorism. There was a terrorist bomb that went off in Gran Canaria, and all the aircraft needed to be diverted to other airports. So two 747s, one of Pan Am called the Clipper, and a Dutch KLM exactly like this one. Same model, same built in the same year. Only this is called the Louis Berylot, and the one of Tenerife was called the Rhine. Now apparently there was a lot of miscommunication between the tower. There was a fog. It was the most worst scenario you could ever imagine for an airline disaster. The pilot of the Pan Am missed its exit. You know, the tower said third exit. He already passed the third exit, and that's when the KLM aircraft, you know, went full throttle trying to take off, and collided with the Pan Am. Only one person of the KLM aircraft survived, and that was a stewardess, and she left early. She just stepped off the plane because she was awaiting her fiance or something like that. So she was the lucky one from the KLM. For the rest, everyone died on board this KLM aircraft. I believe the Pan Am aircraft 67 survived. I'm not too sure about that. But there were a lot of factors concerning the accident, the crash. Weather, terrorism, miscommunication. The airport wasn't fitted for 747s. It was very busy that day. It was a whole combination of everything. Eventually the Dutch pilot of the 747 Van Zanten got the initial blame. I don't really agree with it because it's a factor of everything. If you really want to blame someone, blame the terrorists. Because of them this happened. But Van Zanten got the blame, and I don't really agree with it that the pilot should be the one to blame. Of course, a pilot has a responsibility of his or her passengers on board. But the scenario, it was terrible. The conditions were just terrible on that day. I think it was somewhere in April, I'm not sure. You have to Google that. But the worst airline disaster happened in Tenerife, the Tenerife disaster. And this is the exact same plane. We're going to go on board, and what you see inside is exactly the same as the KLM that was involved with the Tenerife disaster. So we're going to go up. Now this is how they transported the aircraft to Lelystad in bits and pieces. From Schiphol over water, as you see. So it didn't come flying in, it went over water. Yeah. Now that's how they installed the old aircraft. Pretty good. Flipping lovely. Alright, we can look at the cockpit of the aircraft. That will be here. Pretty amazing. So, I just asked a gentleman that works here about the aircraft, and indeed it is the exact same type of aircraft that was involved in the Tenerife disaster. So yeah. Great view here because you see where the airport is. So that should be the airport. I'm not too sure about that. Okay, we're going to go inside again. It's pretty windy. The entrance, actually the rear entrance really, of the 747. Massive wingspan there. There's a small plane. Our airport is over there. That should be the main airport, hopefully someday, but I don't know. Not too sure anymore. Top view from here of all the things here. So we're going to go inside of this massive Queen of the Seas. Let's see what we got, shall we? Wow. Look at the rear of the aircraft. Oh, this is how the aircraft looks from the inside of the 747. Just look at that. Unbelievable. Yeah. It's a kitchen. I think it's a kitchen anyway. So all this, what you see here, is still the exact same as how it was back then. Only these are not. These are just from the museum. But this is the 747, exactly the same model as the Tenerife disaster. Laboratories. Go way up there. The kitchen. And on the other side. This is the other side. Way over there. Yes. Or videos and all that. So this is probably where the cabin crew hang out. There. Seat of the flight attendant. More laboratory. Life vests. Whole layout of the aircraft. And you should be able to go upstairs, I think. Nose of the aircraft. I've been in one of the 747s from Turkey, and we were sitting in front, but that was from Martin Air back in the 90s. And we got the jumbo jets. Yeah. Oh, here's oh, they got the passenger of the KLM flight.
There's a fresh young world rising in your eyes. Can we carry you to somewhere inside yourself?
Information of this aircraft. How it was inside.
In our giant stride across the sky, over a continent, over an ocean.
Okay, next one. Walking the bridge. So, get to the bridge, walk over the bridge over there, you get on board this aircraft right here. So now we're going to go inside the museum from here. At least we should get inside. There you got the Dakotas. And as soon as I'm going to fly once today, so unfortunately it will only be flying one time today. I think because of the weather, because as you see, there's a lot of wind. So this Dakota's only going to fly once, so people are already getting ready, I think. So we'll see if we can get a view of that when it takes off. Right, and we're back inside. Here you got one of the planes of a Fokker. Right here, so see. We got, I think it's a Constellation. Yeah, this looks like the Connie. I think that's a Lockheed Constellation, not sure, but looks like a Constellation. Oh, radar stuff. These are live runners. Simple approach. Well, we all know this. If you have flight radar 24, we have that. So, yeah, I think it is a Constellation. I'm not too sure, but it looks like one. Yeah, another Dakota. We have a lot of Dakotas here. So, okay, let's see what we got here. Got some helicopters. Yeah. Let's take a look on this side. Maybe we've got something here. What is that? Oh, we got. Oh, here we got something here. How do I get here? Yeah, that's a German Junker. Yeah, parachutes. And that is how the Germans invaded this country, by the way, mainly with paratroopers. What was that? Fallschirmjägers, I believe they were called. Oh, this is a post thing. Oh, what do we have? Fucker. What do we have here? Here we have a structure of something, don't know what. A helicopter? Some sort of helicopter? Right. More helicopters down there. Below. Double deckers. Pretty interesting museum. Look at that. I think that's a Sopwith Camel. I'm not too sure, but it looks like a Sopwith Camel with a German, well, it should be a Fokker because Germany have Fokkers. I see the Spandau machine guns on it. Let's see if we can, yeah. Spandau machine guns. Right. Okay. Oh, that's what? Ambulance helicopter, air assistant, ambulance assistant. We're going to go to the space age. I don't think this is an original. That would be really something. One of the first planes. Don't think it's an original. Alright, space age. Now here, the very first Dutch astronaut was called Wubbo Ockels. He was on board the Challenger space shuttle just, I think, a year, 2 years before it exploded. The Challenger. We've got satellites and all that. So now we're in the space thing. Mars. You know that I have my name on Mars. My name is on one of the rovers. A few years ago you could apply at JPL for your name to be on a chip, and it went to Mars. So my name is on Mars somewhere, on one of the rovers. Capsule. However, Bubble Ockels never went to the moon. He wasn't that kind of astronaut. He was a space shuttle astronaut. So I think we got that. Let's see. Oh, we know these ones. This little SpaceX thing. Elon Musk. Yeah. The Apollo capsule. Yeah. Checking on the spacesuit. Oh. It's like an original, but this is about how Neil Armstrong's suit looked like. So it is a replica. But the original would probably be in America. That's how they were. Packed in nice and tight. Hey, I think this would be Yuri Gagarin. Yep, Yuri Gagarin. John Glenn. Yuri Gagarin was the first. Was Wibble Uckles, first Dutch astronaut, and then you got Andrew Kerpers right there. So there's the ISS, the International Space Station. So yeah, space shuttle. I think that's the Mir. Yeah, Mir. Here's Rob Orkles. He went with the Challenger. Only this is the Discovery.
Met de bezoekers over enkele ogenblikken vertrekt de rondleiding. Ik herhaal, over enkele ogenblikken vertrekt de rondleiding. De rondleiding start vanaf de informatiebalie in de centrale hal. Heel veel plezier.
So down, right here. And then we see some models here, space stuff. For those interested. Got these models here. Even the Russian space shuttle never took off. So yeah, no idea where we're going. This is going out, so we're not going out yet. See if we got what else we got here. Fucking heavy. Yeah, this would probably be the future. And here we have airplanes. Oh, goodness. Okay. There's a fucker friendship. Yeah. More of this. Oh, Transavia cockpit. Yeah, I think it's a fucker friendship. Here we got some information about lifeliners. Aeromedics. They can land on very small spaces. They even have a drone. Medical assistance. Those are the helicopters you usually fly over. Here's from Martiniere. Now, I was on board one of the 747s from Martiniere, from Turkey, flying back to Holland. The only thing they do now is cargo freight things. Holland no longer exists. Transavia game set. First Transavia, now we all know these three. What again? This used to be Schiphol. Yeah. Flight attendants and crew, pilots, maintenance. Is the Lockheed Constellation. Got some more cars here. That one here. And we've got that one. Right there. Lovely. Nice vehicle. If you love cars. Nice. This is the Flying Dutchman, Lockheed Constellation. And there we have Kathy. Whoever Kathy might be. Looks like a Texan. Is it Texan? Oh, it's not Texan, it's a Harvard. Look like a Texan. Old, I think it's a tiger moth thing. Okay, there we go. Starting up engine 1. Sign up engine 1. Oh, it's Pratt & Whitney engines. Ready for engine 2 startup. Wind here today. Smoke, yeah. Lovely sound, absolutely lovely. You can always hear a Dakota aircraft. Yeah, second engine. A lot of wind. Flipping out. Engine 2 starts. probably follow the safety car to where it's gonna take off. Just imagine how old this plane is. Flew during the war. Still flies today. Built in the 30s. A lot of wind today, fellas. A lot of wind. People, if this bores you, just scroll until you see the aircraft actually taxiing. It's taking a while, so we're still waiting for it to go. But it's a lovely sight to see. A fantastic aircraft. I hear more engines around me, other planes. So we got this one. I think there are a few more aircraft, so I think it has to wait until it gets its clearance, because there are more airplanes around. This is going to be a long YouTube video, guys, I'll tell you that. Wow. But this was worth the wait. This is why I came here. You know, I live nearby, I don't know that too far. I can visit the Aviodrome anytime. But I chose today because of this. My God, that wind is terrible. But at least it's not warm anymore, you know, not hot. We had a heat wave last week, and that wasn't so good. That was very warm. So I'd rather have this than, what, 35, 37 degrees Celsius. I might just stop the camera just for a while. I have no idea how long this is going to take. I'll have to shorten my video. Want to hear the engines roar. There she goes. Taxiing following the safety car. Right there. Now the only problem is the start plug will be over there, so we're not going to see it close by taking off. That is a shame, because I think the airplane is going to taxi here and then go up that way. Fire trucks just in case. Can't be safe enough nowadays. I think she might just fly overhead once airborne. Let's hope so. You know, the best place where I should have been is where I'm usually at when I'm filming at the airport, because on that part where I always am, bloody hell, there they take off, so